Okay, let's go to a very interesting one. The third question here. It says, this person's a Christian, and the question they're asking is it okay to want to be successful and earn a lot of money? Right? Where is this from? This is from, let's see. Where is this? I don't have a name and I don't have a location. Right? This is actually from Kuala Lumpur, and the person's name is PY. All right, cool. So it says, as a Christian, is it okay to want to be successful and earn a lot of money? Okay, so just to let you know that I'm not like anti-money and stuff like that too. And don't get me wrong, I am a Christian, I am a pastor also, but I'm not saying that I love money. Okay, the most important thing that we have to understand is when the biblical scriptures also talk about that you can only have two masters, money or God, right? And you can only have one. And the key point of that scripture is master, right? Master, or meaning who is the one that is above all things. Okay? So as a Christian, is it okay to be successful? Of course. Do you really think that people who have a lot of money are like automatically forfeit from going to heaven? No, it doesn't work that way, right? The key point that God gives in the scriptures is basically money shouldn't be your top priority, right? If money becomes your top priority, if money masters you, then that becomes an issue, right? Because we know in life too, we see many things, many people who try to make a lot of money, but they realize the meaninglessness of money itself. But I want you guys to understand it's okay to be successful. As long as your mind is in the right place, you're controlled. And as a Christian, God should be your top priority, and money should be under. It should be God and then family too, right? And not money. But yeah, so as long as money doesn't take your top priority, there's no problem with being successful. Okay, we're going also over. Let's go to question number. We have a couple from these. All of these are from Malaysia. I guess because I'm in Malaysia. Let's see. So QS. Okay, it's Chinese names. I'm having a hard time with this. Is that Su Chong? Okay, Su Chong, and from PJ, which I'm assuming is Petaling Jaya, for those of you in Malaysia. And the question is, I can't decide between two choices because I'm not sure which will lead me to the success that I want. What should I do? All right, this is a question that everyone is like, oh my gosh, which one should I do, this one or that one? And I'm going to give you a very, very honest answer is, no one really knows what the right answer is. Like honestly, people can give you advice, but no one really knows, 100% it is this choice, and you have to go that way, right? What I'm telling you right now is, especially for those of you who are, picking majors and picking picking like jobs that you're getting into, one of the things you try to do is you should actually try to intern in your jobs. Like you should actually try it out. More than the fact, because one of the reasons why people struggle so much in school of choosing their major is not because of the major itself, is because they choose the major based on other things like, I think I like this major, or I like this job, or I want to make this much money, so I want this job. So why you choose it actually makes a big difference. Because if it's for money, what happens is you're always going to be unsure because there's always going to be another job that makes more money, which is floating more and more away from what you actually like to do. When it comes to what you like, sometimes you only like a major at that moment in your life, and then later in life, you change the things that you like. You're like, oh no, should I actually do this or not? What you have to do is you got to kind of give yourself you have to give yourself an experience, or I would even suggest you should talk to people in the industry, talk to people of what that job is really like, and think about it to yourself, is that something that I really want to do or not? Right? You have two choices. I can't decide between two choices because I'm not sure. Which I'm assuming this has to do with jobs. Because jobs is a long-term thing. You need more time to make a decision. But if it's like, do I want chocolate or vanilla at Baskin Robbins? Just get chocolate and then get vanilla the next time. It's not a big deal, right? But when it comes to really, really big things, like small things need small amount of time, and larger things need larger amounts of time, which means what? Ice cream is going to only satisfy you probably for the next 20 minutes. But your job is going to be for like the next 20 to 30 years. And this is why you want to research, talk to the people in the industry, and the longer this bigger the decision is, it's affecting you for a longer amount of time. So I do suggest that you talk to people, get more information, right? The more information, the better. And you got to really think about the reasons why you chose it. I know when you're like 17, 18, it's hard to choose a major, but I do suggest you at least research into it, and don't be afraid to change it in the middle. Okay. All right. Let's go to next is Kenny in Kepong. Okay. Kenny in Kepong. Question is, why is it that while we get really motivated at first, eventually we take things for granted? Okay. So this is something everyone goes through. You know what it is, and I know who you are because we all go through it in January. Every year, we have like these New Year's resolutions. I want to work out. I want to lose weight. I want to eat healthier. I want to get a better job. I want to do this. And there's so many things that you want to do. And of course, in the beginning, thinking about it makes you excited, and you're like, oh, I can't wait to get another job. I can't wait to get this. You're super excited, and you start moving towards it. And then eventually, what happens is, it kind of like is more than not taking it for granted. It's like you kind of measuring if it's worth it or not. Like, oh, do I really have to suffer this much? Do I really have to go through this or not? And this has to do with today's talk. Today's talk is you have to experience something first in order to know what it takes to get there. You do. And that's why I do suggest expertise and like becoming proficient in something. Do it first with something you really, really, really like. Because once you learn how to do this, you're able to understand what it takes to actually do something proficiently, do something in an expert way, and how much suffering or how much you have to persevere to get it. What I suggest to everyone is, yeah, it's a normal thing. Why? Because a lot of people don't have the experience. Why? Unsuccessful people won't go through it. They'll always start and they cut off in the middle and they're like, oh, I should have done it. And then by the time it's December, you're like, for me, sometimes, for me I do Bible readings every year. I'm like, oh, I could have finished the Bible, but if I started it in January, February, March, and then now it's like December 20th and I have 11 days to read 55 books, right? And what happens here is people first have to learn. You have to learn what it takes to actually do something well. And when you take that in your mind, that mentality comes here. That mentality can transfer over to everything that you do. Okay? Let's take a look at another question. From Indonesia, it says sunny. I'm assuming it says sunny. I don't have, part of the screen is cut off, but I'm thinking it says sunny, right? And Indonesia, and I'm assuming it's a girl, says, I'm currently in the second year of my course at university, but I don't think it's suitable for me. Is it worth to change it now? And that is a great question. I've been asked 10,000 times. Okay, so first we have to look at the purpose of why you're going to school. Because your second year, and I'm assuming it's a 4-year program, right? So you're in the second year. So if you restart, you have to start from the beginning again, which is another 2 years. Okay, now think about this. If you think about this, your major is leading directly towards what you want to do in your career, right? So my question to you is, how long is your career? And like we talked before, it's like 30 years. Some people go 40 years. Like nowadays, people are retiring very late. That's why they're raising the age to like 65. So if you think about it, you're going to be working for like 40 years. Okay? Now, if you don't think it's suitable for you and you don't really like the major that you're in, what's going to happen is you're going to say, oh, I already put in 2 years, so I might as well finish it and work in that industry for 40 years, which means that you could possibly be unhappy for 40 years. But you can invest 2 more years. Like you're going to graduate 2 years late, and you're going to be happier for 38. If you look at the grand scale of things, 40 and 38 are not that far apart, especially when it comes to your happiness and what would make you happier, what would give you more joy in doing what you want to do. And I tell you right now is it's actually worth taking the extra 2 years. And if you have to take another extra 2 years again because you want to change it, the average, I think in America, the average person changes their major twice. It takes like over 5 years for people to graduate. It took me 5.5 years to graduate university, right? Why? It's because I wanted to do the thing that I really wanted to do. And crazier is, in the end, I ended up not even doing what my major was, right? So what I want to tell you is, I would suggest if you really, really don't like it, start another major. Why? Because 40 years of not being very happy is nowhere near close to 38 years of being much happier, right? And that's why I want you guys to understand is, yeah, you got to kind of look at the big picture sometimes. When we're looking only at the now, those 2 years seem like a long time, and the answer is, it's not that long. It really isn't. Okay, so let's take a look at another question. Wow. This is Lo Chang Jin. Okay, I'm assuming they're Chinese. I don't know if they're a girl or a guy. Lo Chang Jin in Sabah, okay, studying in Taiwan. Okay, all right, cool. Question is, can I be successful by doing it alone with God? Because I miss the chance to make friends here, and I actually don't really care about making friends here. I feel comfortable when I'm alone. With this kind of mindset, can I be successful? And the answer is, yes, you can. You can still be successful, but it's harder. Right? A lot of, like when you look at, depends on what type of success you have. One of the things you have to understand about human beings is the vast majority of human beings, we're kind of made to be social animals. And a lot of times your network and the people that you're with and you hang around, or the people that you know, do make a big difference in the success, in, like, say, when it comes to your business or the work that you do. Can you be successful just being alone with God? And the answer is, it's possible, but it's not easy. It's not easy, because you have to think about it this way. If you look at the way that everything in this world is created, nothing is done alone. No man is on an island. Because if you really, really think you're alone, then look at your entire room. Like, look at this bubble tea. Someone made the milk. Someone milked the cow. Someone went to the forest and got the konjac plant, right? Someone made the plastic. Someone made the table. Someone made my phone. Someone made the paper. Someone made the mic. Someone made the camera. There's always someone contributing to what I'm doing right now. Even for me to even be born, it took 2 people, which took another 2 people, which took another 2 people. And everyone, if you think about it, in this life, there's nothing that is done alone. And if we realize that nothing is done alone, then we'll understand how important it is to have these people around us. Now, does it mean that I want you to go out and become a socialite and have like 1,000 friends? And the answer is no. But it's healthy actually for people to have at least, like 2, 3 really close people around them and people to talk to. And especially when you're talking about success, right? If it's success of faith, you want successful people of faith around you. When it's talking about business, successful people in your field, in business around you also. You want people you're always learning from too. It's hard to say, can I be successful alone with God? Because technically speaking, we're actually not really that alone, right? So I do suggest that even if it's at a small level, to find people to connect with, find people that are like you, and in the area, whether it's faith, whether it's friends, whether it's family, whether it's business, all these other different areas, it's good to have these good people that challenge you and help you to do better. I know sometimes, especially in this generation, I'm not sure what generation you're in, Generation Z, we call it the lonely generation, the people that are they're more comfortable being alone. But it's much harder, and one of the things, even though being alone is good in one sense, but they say that one of the problems is in this generation is mental illness skyrockets, right? So it's like 30% mental illness it's a higher 30% in this generation more than any other generation. So I do believe that with this kind of mindset, you will be much healthier physically, mentally, and spiritually if you did have some good people around you. Yeah. All right. Thanks for the questions. I'll go last question today. Let's see. Very interesting one from Samantha in KL. Okay, Samantha in KL says, my brother has a very complacent mentality. How can I encourage him to change his mindset? And the answer is, that's basically what you can do, is encourage and support. For a lot of people, it takes, when you're in a complacent mindset, it does sometimes take a shock for someone to kind of bust out of that area. And I'm not sure where your brother is right now, because I'm sure if it's you're gonna ask me this question right now, it's probably because it's pretty bad, and like he doesn't listen to anyone. And what's usually going to happen is, we want to encourage them. We want to support them as much as we can. But in the end, it's hard to change people's minds. But we can encourage them, support them. Those of you who have faith can pray for them also. And one of the things that we can do, like understanding that you cannot make them do anything. This is a really important thing that I really believe, especially when it comes to leadership, is we actually have no power to control people, to make them do what we want, because people have their own minds, right? We can say all we want, this person influenced, and the answer is it's true, they influence, but they don't make people do it. People make themselves do things, right? If we realize, and especially I'm talking to you, Samantha, that for something that's healthy for you from your mindset, is you have to realize in your mind is you can't make him do anything, which means that all you can do is support and love him as much as you can. And when the time comes, he'll be very thankful and grateful, and he'll come to you when he really wants to make that change. If our mindset is, why isn't he changing? Why can't he do this? That means that we're kind of putting ourselves in this hubris, this mindset that I am God and I can make you do things. And the answer is, we can't. We can't make people do things, right? And if you have the mindset that you can make people do things, not forcibly, but make them do it, then you get angry, you get frustrated, and then you start leaving people you love. Like, I've been working on this person for 10 years. And now they never said, 10 months, and they haven't changed a bit. I give up. But the answer is, if you understand that you can't make people change, then you're not going to give up. Because in the end, it's just, if it's your brother, I'm sure you love him to death. Right? You love him to death so much you're asking this question, which means that love becomes the most important thing that he needs, right? You just got to love him. But if you begin to think too much of why isn't he changing, it means that we're starting to think to ourselves is that we can't, that you can actually make him change. And the answer is you can't. You can't make people change. It's impossible, right? People will go through shock. People will make up their own minds. We can support them and encourage them, but I really hope that you can, like last week, we talked about love. Just practice patience on them, and know that the time will come where all your efforts and all the love you poured in, there'll be fruit that comes from it. Okay, thank you, Samantha, for that awesome question. Thank you so much. That will be the last question for Bubble Talk. I see there's a bunch of more questions on here. We'll get to them even more next time. So until next week, bring your bubble tea. We'll try a new bubble tea next week, and also send in your suggestions of different bubble teas I can try. My very first time trying konjac milk tea, and next week we'll try a new one that you guys can suggest. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again on Bubble Talk. Bye-bye.